Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here coming at you with a brand new video for our Platinum Trophy Guide for Lords of the Fallen. In the last video we had made it to the Rogar realm and defeated the boss controlling the teleporter, which would stop reinforcements coming into the world, and so on and so on. We'd done the trophy to defeat a boss with at least having 20,000 experience on your person. Now, there's one last thing that we can do here right now, which I forgot to mention, is that if you follow the path all the way back off to the left, might as well show you, there is a secret room that we can enter that I just completely, dumb, small-brained. So if you come off to the left over here and follow the path, pretty straightforward, we'll find a chest and a switch and a door that we can secretly unlock. And it's right here. As you can see, we can't enter that door, but if we come off here over to the right, follow this path all the way around, we can actually find a little switch right here, which we can use, and then be able to enter. And get this little hidden chest, which is pretty cool. So as of now, if you don't have all of the weapons, you should be getting most of them, and all of the armor sets that you can. I believe it's axe, great axe, great sword, pole sword, great hammer, axe, pole sword, short sword, hammer, staff, short sword, daggers, fists. What else is there? There's 11 different weapon types, but from here we're going to head all the way back outside and we're going to enter the Catacombs through that big door where you fought the third boss, the Worshipper. So I'm going to see you once we've made it inside of the Catacombs. Alright, so now that we're here in the Catacombs, as you can see, the first two trophies I want to talk about are pretty close to the entrance of it. So if you follow the path that I take, we will get right to it. Now in this room, actually just to the right under those stairs right there, you can find a new armor set. But if you come over here off to the left, you'll find this path that comes down with a hole to jump over. If you come in this room off to the right and you two-hand your weapon and then L2, you can kick this body off and that'll get you a trophy in itself. Now then, if we also take this enemy right here that just jumped at us, well, maybe not anymore, but the next enemies we can actually use. So if you come down here and get this spider enemy to follow you up, just make sure that he comes into this room here. Probably take his time, of course. Just make sure that you lure him in. And then get him as close as you can just to save yourself some time. Then you just want to L2 him into the pit. You'll get pretty close to falling in yourself, but once you do that, that'll get you, this is Keystone Trophy. So that'll be 2 right there. So now I'm going to head back to the start and then clear out most of the area and go through and do everything like that. That way everything important is said and done, and then we will go through the Catacombs showing you everything that you need to grab and pick up along the way, as well as the boss at the end. Huzzah! Actually, on a small side note, from this room you can actually find a legendary weapon which is needed for the My Stash trophy. So if you come to this door right here, you can break through and then follow the path around. Now if you come up here, you can find this very specific lever that you can use your ability on, and then come down here. As you'll see, you'll hear the door, and then it's right here that you can open up, and in this room you can find the blood stick right here, this orange weapon. So yeah, figured I'd shout it out while it's right here and close by. So now we're going to proceed to go back to the start, clear everything out, then we can show you the simplest guide for everything in the Catacombs. Alright, so now we can finally go through and make our way through most of the area. before the boss, of course. So if you come through the main area and come off directly straight, don't take the left path like we did before. From here you can find this other area, the pit. It'll have a couple enemies, but if you first come off over here to the left, you'll find this pad that you can use your prayer on. And then if you follow the path around right here, you can find this open door. You can interact with a statue and get the Bloodlust sword, which is pretty cool. I do believe that there's not really anything of much use for the rest of the area. As you're exploring though, you want to make sure that you're thoroughly going through and searching everything, as you'll find a bunch of human skulls as you go through the area. So from here, the main point of the objective is to get through the catacombs. And to do that, if you come back to the first rotunda-esque area or circular room, you can head upstairs and follow the path that I take. This will lead you to the fastest part of the area. From here, we'll be able to find the heirloom rune or heirloom weapon and other stuff. So when you get to this circular-esque cell holding, I recommend coming off to the left and following this path all the way around. There will be these rooms that have these levers that you can open up. Search all of the rooms just to be safe. That way you find everything that you can as you're exploring, of course. There is going to be one guy who's all like, hey man, you wanna help me out and kill me? Which is the next thing that I will show you. It'll be this guy right here. So if we actually keep coming off over, following the path around, you'll eventually find a wooden door. But if you, basically I'll give you a point of reference here. So here's the wood, wait. The wooden door is a little bit further past us, as you can see, and that'll have the lever. But from this statue here, if you come off over here to the right, you'll want to pull that big lever, of course, while you're at it. But you want to come all the way down to this last cell here. It'll have an enemy in it, but if you come in and break this wall, you can find the heirloom hammer. Don't know why it had me doing that. But now we can come back over to this other cell wall. This will allow us to get our third actual unique item in a pretty short amount of time. Want to basically talk to this guy to ask you to kill him.
What are you waiting for?
In doing so, you'll get 1500 XP and you'll get a shard. Now to find the item, if you actually come back over here to this right cell, you'll see the item has now spawned. It'll be the blocker buckler shield. But if we actually come back this way, follow the path around, of course, you can eventually find a path that leads off to the left that you can find. It'll be this area right here with these areas, and there'll be a short cutscene right here to ask you to free one of these two guys in this cell. From what I found, you want to always save this guy right here closest to the stairs, and right here we can unlock the next shortcut, which leads back down to the boss, which is pretty cool. So if we come down here, we can now fight the boss. But before we do that though, I want to help show you guys how to fully cleanse the heirloom. So I'm actually going to head to the beginning again. So I'm going to see you once we're back there, and then of course we're going to come back here. It just makes it easier to go back to the beginning to show you the most direct path. Alright, so from the beginning, once again, if you follow the path that I take, this will be the fastest route to cleanse the heirloom, making it a better weapon. Not better than the one we're using currently, but still. So along this path here, you'll find this broken wall that you'll want to follow it around. And eventually you will come to an area off to the right. And then you'll head down these stairs here. Now in this room, if you actually come over here to the right and then follow this path down, it'll be the first room here on our left once we can find a room. It'll be right here, and then you'll be able to place it down here. You'll, for some reason, be able to get both versions of the axe. I don't know why they allow you to do that. But as you can see here, we now have two different versions. One is a little bit stronger than the other version, but they're both about the same other than that. And that's important because we'll need that for a boss fight later on to get a unique weapon. So now we're going to head back down to that one area where the shortcut was and head down below. So see you all when we get there. Alright, so as of now, we are back at the area where we unlocked the shortcut for, right across from the statue, and that hallway where you saved one of the two guys from the cell. As of now, you should also have the trophy for getting the 25 skulls. So if you come down here, you'll notice that there's a second lever that you'll need to grab. There's a couple enemies along the way here, but that's perfectly fine. So now you want to make sure you have your prayer spell ready and available, and we can now fight the boss, the champion. We'll just skip that. Basically, all you're trying to do is bait him into doing a running attack, like so, dodging, and then when you have a chance to use your prayer, this will create a clone. He'll still be able to target you with some of his abilities, like so, but once that's done, he'll then go and target the clone. Normally, of course. Basically, for this boss fight, you see that orange meter. You basically just want to make sure that he doesn't get that fully charged up. And then from there, pretty simple. As whenever you take a bar down, he does automatically enrage. That doesn't count as you failing to get the unique weapon. It's scripted to do that, so don't worry. Basically, to avoid it happening, you just want to dodge getting hit from him multiple times. Him hitting your prayer clone does count, though, as enraging. But don't worry. Hopefully we can get him to do it properly this time, as you'll see. Now you can hit him with a couple of abilities. If you get hit, though, don't worry. Just make sure that, if need be, you just bait him out, wait properly. That way you don't accidentally do too much damage before the bar fills up. As you can see, it's rapidly filling back down, which is nice. So yeah, that's all it is really to this fight. When he does reach phase 3, he will send out more rapid projectiles that will hit you. As you can see, though, I've kind of failed and he has now gotten enraged. So for the sake of things, just going to end up dying to him, because the whole point is so you just don't, you know, enrage him, and that's how you get the unique orange version of his weapon. But yeah, so now I'm just going to skip to when I defeat him, as it's a pretty straightforward boss. It's just knowing the mechanics. This will save time for the video, of course, and then we can move on after that. Alright, and that is the champion. Now, if done correctly, you should get the No Time for Losers, and you should get the orange version of the Sting Fist items.
Please, we need your help.
So if you'll look around, you'll eventually see this guy over here. Talk to him. He'll ask you for your help. And before you enter this room, you can head up here and find couple of things. One is a note.
Yes. All right, yes. I have to confess that I've made a mistake. Yes.
Now we can head back
I've
down
stolen
and
something.
enter into
Not out of
the
necessity, but
Citadel
out of greed.
finally.
I was not starving and I was not dying. I just wanted it because I wanted it. But is that enough?
Alright, so the first time you enter the Citadel, it's going to be filled with Rogar, demons, and all that, so you'll have to go through and defeat most of them before you can do anything of importance. Just be wary of that. So I'm going to go through and try and get through as much as I can, but in the first area, that way it's as hopeful as possible. So I'll see you when that's said and done. Alright, so from the main stairs, once you beat the first warden again in that little cellar area, you can now slowly make your way up, fighting off monsters and things. Do be wary though, in this area, as there's a very powerful wizard enemy to fight. In here you can find a couple of scrolls and things. And then over in this room here is a secret room that you can unlock with a rune sealed off. Then from here you can pass by where you fought the first warden in the tutorial area. Then you can finally make your way up and around and continue the path all the way up. Grab another scroll. Trying to grab as many of these as we can in the game. That way we can work on getting the one trophy. Now if you come in here and talk to this guy, he'll actually ask you to help him out, and this will allow you to work on getting a trophy for upgrading your potions, because he'll need to go to his station and be able to upgrade using Tyrant Hearts, which we already have enough of. But if we come over here to the right into this area with all of the wounded guys, we can actually break this wall and find a new armor set to grab real quick. I don't believe there's anything else worth grabbing while we're in this area. So now we can move on. Grab whatever we can. And now we can head up. All the way to the top first. Want a checkpoint here, you can. Nothing else you can really grab of importance. Now we can head up. Alright, now that you're up here, you can turn around, come grab this quick little scroll note audio thing. Come over here, we can talk to Caslo. You'll basically just want to go through whatever dialogue that you can. You'll then be asked to go down and clear out the next area. So from here, you'll basically want to head down and defeat all of the enemies, and then you'll have another cutscene. You'll then meet Antonos, and that'll get you a trophy. So I'm basically going to skip to once that is done, and we can now move on from there to the next boss. Alright, so as of now, you should have just gotten the He Who Speaks to God trophy, I believe is the name. I just saw it and I've already forgotten. But from here we can actually backtrack and find a couple of things. So in this area you can find this chest here, which has another couple pieces of armor for us. But the main thing that we're after here is make sure that you have the prayer selected. So if you come over here to this path, on the left side, you'll find this rune pressure plate that you can use. So then if you follow the path all the way around into the back room where you fought the sorcerer, you can find the third secret room here in the Citadel. Has this chest in it, which will get us a armor set. And from here, basically, it's just heading back outside. So now what you can do is using your But basically now we can head back down and outside to fight the next official boss. This guy will ask you about some men that retreated. He'll then want a reward for you going and killing them. You meet them after you defeat the one boss and you're leaving Rogar, or the realm. So, if we follow the path all the way back out, now come all the way back outside. And now if you actually equip the last ability, you can unlock the specific sealed doors using that, and we can now head outside. Alright, now that you're outside, this will be the beast fight. Pretty straightforward fight. Basically, you can stun lock him. So if you just two-hand R2 his legs, you can easily deal enough stagger damage. And then you can attack his head. We're in a kind of a weird spot. But basically, it's you do more damage to his head, then you come back, deal enough damage to his feet, then rinse repeat until you then get him to half health. Then basically all you're doing is then switching to his other leg, of course. Basically for this fight, you just don't want to step into any of his poison pools when he enrages in phase 2. So all you have to do is just make sure that you are once again just staying chill. Sadly, he's in a pretty crappy position for us, so we'll try and wait. Try and go in again. Now that we're in a better spot, we can try and get more on his face. And just like that, we're done. And that is the beast said and done. If done properly, once you pick this up, you should have the orange version of his hammer, the stain, and you should get the anger as a gift trophy. And now if you talk to this guy, he'll actually give you a side quest to go back into the Citadel, and In the main hall, there's a room that's normally locked on the right side up the steps. You can now go into it. But before we do that, we're actually going to do the side quest that I mentioned with the monk dude, which is just to go back out and clear that first tower right on the other side of that little save area. So we're just going to quickly do that, and in doing so, the guy will move over to there, and then that should allow you to upgrade your healing flask, which will then get you the trophy for doing that. So yeah, see you when we do that. Alright, now one last thing before we go and get the trophy to buff our potions is once you've talked to that guy, like I said, this door right here should be open now. There are going to be some tough enemies, not in this room particular, but in the next couple of rooms, so just be on guard for that. So if you come down here, come to this back area here, head off to the left over here, you can actually come down here and find the cursed sword right here. Now, if we actually head back to the graveyard where we fought the third boss, the Worshipper, just outside the Rogar gate, I will show you where we can do that, and that'll be the last thing that we do in this current video. So now from here, we're going to actually head back outside, and then I'm going to go and talk to the dude in his base. So yeah. Alright, so from the Square of Heroes, if you just run the path that I run, it'd be the quickest to get to the guy. There's also one last thing I'll mention and show before I officially end this video, as I feel like it's getting to be one of the more lengthier ones just because of the amount of stuff needed to do, but probably will be much shorter once I trim it, is that if you actually head back to where you fought the champion, you can actually go into the room that he stabbed during the cutscene, and there'll be a new locked door that you can go into, and there's a chest and 3 scrolls, or XP, whatever you'd like to call it. So here we have the area where the guy is chilling at. If we come and talk to him, you basically want to ask him how you can help him, and then he'll ask you for tyrant hearts. And you'll tell him that you can see what you find. Then you'll basically just want to come back to him. He needs 4, and that'll allow him to do this. So as of now, you should have the 4. 3 before fighting the boss, and then the 4th one is after the boss in the Rogar realm. So once that is done, you should get the extra strong trophy. So I'm actually going to head back to the Catacombs through the Citadel, which will be through that cellar entrance, and be back where the boss room is, and I'll show you where the room is. Alright, so as you can see, we're back here at the fight now, and off to the right over here, as you'll see, big now open door with some scrolls in them. And a chest. Always nice getting more stuff, since we'll need these. So from here, if you actually just head out the Citadel from the front gate, go to where we fought the B/Commander arena, head off to the left up the stairs like you're going to go fight the 3rd boss, and stuff like that. Or if you want to reverse run through the Catacombs, either way works. Just make sure that you're there and then clear the area of enemies first before we finish up, as it's relating to the cursed sword, which will then get us a trophy in ourselves. You want to make sure that you also have a weapon that can do some magical damage beforehand. So just want to check and make sure any weapon that you can properly use, of course. Just want to look at it and see if it has any magical damage at all. Want to make sure it's like decent, of course. So the warrior sword's actually a pretty good one. I think it's the heirloom's also good. Is the normal one? No. So yeah, the upgraded heirloom is also going to be a good weapon to use for this. So yeah, I'll see you once we do that. Alright, now as you can see, I'm right outside the portal to the Rogar realm, and I have the heirloom upgraded hammer equipped. So coming over here to this right side, you'll find that there is a grave that you can interact with. Basically, you just want to bury the cursed sword, and in doing so, this ghost will appear. And just like that, you can come back and grab the upgraded version of the sword, and you should get the I Feel Lucky trophy. Now we can switch back to our main weapon, of course. But that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully this guide has been helpful or informative of some way of what you have to do in each area, how to grab certain items, and how to beat bosses and stuff like that, and what to use. But the next time we'll be returning back to the Rogar realm and continuing from there. We're also going to be grabbing another unique weapon because, as you can check from your key items, we have 28 skulls. You don't need to have that many, but I'm a collector, so we'll be giving those off to a friend who will give us another pretty cool unique item. So once again, I will see you all when that is said and done. Peace out.